me go?
Nancy Whitmore. Go.
Okay. All right, I want to talk about how to identify minerals, and so maybe I want you to get this real organized way of doing it so that it won't be too hard to do. For those of you that have already done your mineral test, I want you to do it again, okay, and see if you can make a higher grade on it. All right, so here's what I want you to do first. Okay, you're going to be able to use your lab manual, and this is how I want you to use it. First of all, I want you to look at your mineral, and I'm going to pick up mineral number 1 right here. I'm going to pick this mineral up, okay, and I want you to look at it. And I'm going to hold it up to the camera. I don't know if you can see it that well, but you can see what I'm doing. So Susan, get me doing this. And I'm going to turn the mineral up and down, and I'm going to see if I can get light to reflect off that surface of the mineral. Okay?
I can see it.
I do see, yeah, I do see some light reflecting off that surface. Okay, now I've got to make a decision. I want you to read. What?
Tell me you lined them up.
Okay, I've lined up, and I want y'all to do this too. Lined all your unknown minerals up from 1 to 24. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, on to 24. So I want y'all to line them up like this, and don't get them out of order. This one's out of order. It goes right there. It broke. Okay, so line them up, and then get your materials out. Okay.
Here's all your materials.
Get them out so you can use them. Okay. Just so
except the acid is missing.
Okay, so you all have some acid. Somehow it disappeared from this box, but that's not hard to do. You can do that. Okay, so first of all, look at your mineral, hold it up, rock it back and forth, see if you can get a flash of light, turn it on the side, turn it on the other side, and I want you to see if you can see any light reflecting off of that rock or that mineral. Okay, now you're going to come to this page and you're going to decide. Is that a metallic luster? Do you want a metallic luster, or did you see a non-metallic luster? Now, while this was very shiny, okay, it wasn't shiny perhaps like this graphite is shiny. This is a metallic luster, and number 1 has a non-metallic luster. Okay, now while it's shiny, we're going to call that a glassy luster. Okay, we're going to look at number 7. Number 7 also has a glassy luster. Okay, so it's very shiny. It reflects a lot of light off that crystal face, but it's not shiny like a metal. That's what I want you to learn. Number 1, find the luster. Number 2, if it's non-metallic, I want you to come over here and I want you to decide, is it a light colored or is it, like on this page, is it a dark color? Okay, so let's look at our minerals again. Okay, if your mineral is going to be pink or red or white, of course, it's going to be a light color. If your mineral is going to be dark, for instance, this is dark gray or a black maybe, you want to call it black. Okay, this is a green mineral. While it might be a light green, it's still going to be in the dark category. And this is what I want you to learn. When it's dark, okay, when it's gray, dark gray or black or brown or green, that means it's going to have iron or magnesium in it. So now it's going to be a dark mineral. Okay, so even though that's light green, green means dark. Okay, and so you got to make that decision. All right, now then after you decide what color it is, you've decided the luster, you've decided light or dark. Okay, the next thing I want you to decide is how hard is the mineral. Okay, so Susan is going to get me testing the hardness. So first of all, do this. Everybody do this the first time. Here's your glass plate. Okay, now hold it down on the table. And I've got it here on my desk. And then I'm going to get the rock in my other hand, the mineral I'm testing, and I'm going to drag it across the surface of that glass plate. Then I'm going to run my fingernail across it to see if it actually made a cut in the glass plate. Okay, and it did. All right, so do not hold the rock still and scratch it with the glass plate, because this will break and then you're going to be cut. All right, so you have to hold it down like this on a nice firm surface and then drag it across the surface of the rock. You may have to bear down a little bit, but that's okay. And then feel if it made an indentation. So, this mineral, number 1, scratch glass. So you're going to say it's hard enough to scratch glass. Okay, if it didn't scratch glass, you're going to call it soft. All right, and so then you're going to use that to narrow down your choices. You have some other things here to scratch it with, okay, and you can certainly use this little piece of copper. Try to see if it'll scratch the surface of this mineral. You can use this iron nail, see if that'll scratch it, okay, and then look on your Mohs hardness scale to see where the hardness of this mineral might fall. And so then that's going to tell you how hard it is. Now, I'm going to come over here to this biotite, okay, and I'm going to show you one other. Now I'm going to put the mineral down on the ground, and I'm going to scratch it with my fingernail. Your fingernail has a hardness of 2. So, this mineral, biotite, number 10, okay, is soft enough to scratch with your fingernail. It has a hardness of 2. And so that narrows down your choices. All right? Now then, the next thing you're going to decide, one more thing I want you to decide, is what kind of cleavage this has. You're either going to say, yes, it has cleavage, or no, it doesn't have cleavage. That's the first thing you're going to decide. So we're going to hold up this mineral, and you can see this is a really nice, square-looking mineral. And then I can look at it very closely, and I can see some cracks in it, and the cracks follow right along these square edges. Okay, and if I look right along that edge, I can see another crack. And so I just turn it over in my hands and see if it's going to follow these planes of weakness. And so cleavage means that a rock or a mineral, it means a mineral, breaks along planes of weakness. And so that's what you have to decide. Either yes, it has cleavage, okay, and then no, it doesn't have cleavage. Okay, and Susan picked up this number 3, and I think it's pretty clear for us to all see. No, this number 3 doesn't have cleavage.
Well, there's a line right over here.
Well, I can just tell you it doesn't have any cleavage. That doesn't mean it won't break. It certainly is going to break. It may fracture. Okay, and so, for instance, this has a specific type of fracture that we call conchoidal. And that is, it looks like a broken piece of glass. And so that's a fracture, it's not cleavage. Okay, and so, just to review, Susan.
So,
Well, they have to take the test, Susan. These are the test tracks. So we can't tell them all the answers.
fine.
I'm only going to get you started. Number 1, is it metallic or non-metallic? Number 2, if it's non-metallic, it still might be shiny, but it's not going to be shiny like a metal. Okay, after you figure out if it's metallic or non-metallic, I want you to decide if it's non-metallic, is it light or dark? Okay, and after you figure out if it's light or dark, I want you to determine the hardness. Okay, now after you determine the hardness, okay, you have several things here to help you to decide the hardness. I want you to find out, to decide if it has any cleavage or not. Okay, and you've read about cleavage in your book. Okay, then the next thing you can do, there's one more thing, 2 more things really. Okay, we have a streak plate here. This is a porcelain plate, and I want you to get your mineral, hold the streak plate down, run the mineral across the streak plate, okay, and then decide what color that is. Okay, and so that's another thing that is an indicator of what the mineral is. Okay, we have some minerals, though, that don't leave a streak. This number 1 is too hard. When it's harder than the streak plate, it's just going to look white. Okay, so streak doesn't always help, but it does help sometimes. If you want to look closely at your rock or mineral, you've got a magnifying glass. Okay, and so 2 more things real quick. I don't want to make this video too long. Okay, this is going to be your hand lens. Okay, and I want you to hold it, put your finger right through that little opening, and then if you have glasses on, take them off. And then I want you to bring this loop, okay, with your thumb up to your eye. Just put it right there on your nose so you'll hold it still. Okay, and then bring the mineral up here to the glass. Okay, and then you can get a good look at that mineral. This magnifies it 10 times. Okay, so this is a nice part of your kit that can help you see things that might be really small. Okay, one more thing. There's not any acid in this kit, but if you wanted to drop a little acid on any one of these, drop some acid on it. Get the water bottle, wipe the acid off, get a paper towel, and clean off your mineral. Okay, there's only one kind that fizzes, that's calcite. If you have dolomite, dolomite fizzes slowly, and you'll have to look at the dolomite fizzing under the hand lens. Okay, but the calcite will fizz rapidly, so whenever you use calcite, it's going to fizz fast. Okay, so I hope that gets you started on your mineral identification. I'm going to turn that test back on Sunday. Well, maybe tonight sometime I'll turn it back on. But I want y'all to go over this again. I want you to line up your minerals. Take this test, use your lab book, write down the right answers, and then when you get into Blackboard, you're just going to type them in one at a time.
So 1, 2, 3, 4,
4,
5,
5, 6, 7, 8,
9, 10, 11,
16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24.
Okay.
Okay, and now when you finish, you put these up. Y'all put these little fragile ones in a Ziploc bag. I've given you one. All by themselves. See, these are going to be easy to break. This one's already broken. And then just kind of keep up with them and don't knock the numbers off of them. And keep everything all together, okay? All right. Have fun.